Hello students, today we're going to be doing a mid-chapter review. This is a review for chapter 12. Remember we did 4 lessons about this chapter already, so we're going to do a review so you guys are ready for the next lessons. We're going to be reviewing these vocabulary words right here: angle, right angle, point, polygon, parallel, and some other more. Let's start with angle. Remember that an angle is it's formed by an endpoint and 2 rays. So these 2 rays are sharing this endpoint right here. Okay, that's the way you form an angle. And remember, there's different kinds of angles. Like we have the right angle. And let me give you a trick for these. A right angle, so you can remember when you see the word right and then angle, you can go ahead and see the T. That's a clue telling you that the right angle makes a form like an L right here, like a T. Okay, remember it's right, it's straight. You have your endpoint and then you have your rays making this L form. It also could be like for this to this side, or like this, or like that. Not necessarily an L, but what I mean is that it's always straight like that. It could be like that, different ways. Okay, and then we have point. This one's really easy because you guys have worked with number lines already. So you have your number line, you have numbers like that, and then your point is just showing in a specific distance or so in a number line. Okay, so now we have polygon. Then we have a polygon. Remember that the polygons are always made out of line segments. Like you're gonna have a square like that, but remember that your square is made out of line segments like that. And then we have parallel. Remember the trick I told you? The parallel lines is like the double L because they're parallel like the L's, right? They're never cross each other. They are just straight. So parallel lines are just like that. So we can actually go ahead and say that a rectangle has 2 pairs of parallel lines, right? If you go ahead and see, this line right here is parallel to this one. So that's 1 pair. But actually you have another one. Can you see the other one really quickly? It's just right here. This one is parallel to this one. So you actually, instead of 1, you have 2 pairs of parallel lines. Okay, so I have these 3 shapes right here for you. We're gonna try to figure it out what kind of angle these shapes are showing right here. Okay, we have the right angle, acute angle. The acute, remember, is all cute. It's so cute because it's little. It's less than a right angle. It's acute. And then obtuse is the opposite of this one. It's greater than a right angle. Okay, so let's try to put these figures, these shapes right here into those angles. But first, let's go back a little bit to like maybe the first lesson we did, which was the plane shapes. Okay, so these 3 right here are actually all plane shapes. Why is that? Because remember, all flat shapes are on a flat surface like the whiteboard right here. And then also these 3 shapes share something else. These 3 shapes are also closed shapes. Remember, a closed shape starts and ends on the same point. Okay, it could be any point, but they're always closed, not open. Also, if I'm saying that these shapes are plane, are a closed shape, that makes them also a polygon. Okay, so now let's try to put these shapes into, well, these angles right here into one of those. Okay, so let's go to the first one. This one right here is a square. Okay, we know a square is made out of um, 4 sides. What else do we know? It has 4 angles. But what kind of angle? It's making a shape like this one. So it is actually not a cube. It's not little. It's kind of wide open. But is it like way wide open? Not really. So that makes it a right angle. So this one right here is a right angle. And then let's go to this one. The angle that is showing right here, how do you see it? You can use your fingers to do this, so you can go ahead and do these. How does your finger look? Do they look all cute? Do they look straight like that, or do it look wide open? If you say wide open, then you're right. It's making a greater than a right angle, so it's making an obtuse angle right here. So this one is actually obtuse. And then, well, this one, we only have 3 shapes, 3 angles, but let's go and review that one a little bit. So we already have the right one. If you put your fingers, it's just straight. And then this one, it's not straight. It's going like wide open. So this one is making a cute little one, right? If you put your fingers like that, it looks all cute. So that one's making a cute angle. It is not greater than this one. It's actually less than. Okay, so now let's review the polygons. Remember that polygons are named after the number of sides and angles they have. So let's review that, okay? I make some drawings right here to show you different shapes that correspond to these polygons right here. So first we have the triangle. Triangles actually can look different, but they also will have the same amount of sides and angles. So if you don't have a picture, a shape drawing for the polygon, you can actually use the words as clue. Triangle has this word right here, triangle. This right here means 3. It actually sounds like 3, right? Triangle, 3. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that if it works for you. Remember, a triangle has triangle right here has 3 sides and 3 angles. You can go ahead and count if you have the shape. 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 angles, and all of them are named triangles because they all match with the number of sides and the number of angles. So now the quadrilateral. Quadrilateral, it has the word quadri right here. That means 4. If you know Spanish, you can actually remember like quadri sounds like cuatro. Okay, so you can actually use that if you know Spanish and if it's easier for you. Quadrilaterals might look like squares, like rectangles, like diamonds. They might look different ways, but they always gonna match the number of sides, which is always 4, and the number of angles, which is 4 as well. And then we have the pentagon. Pentagon, I don't really have like a trick for penta. I mean, penta means 5. Penta means 5. I think the easiest way to remember pentagon is just by saying the word pentagon, penta 5. That's the way I remember it always. If you have the shape, you can go ahead and count and then think, okay, pentagon, 5. It has 5 sides and 5 angles. Look at these 2 shapes right here. They look like really, really different, but they do match with the number of sides and the number of angles. Both of them have 5 and 5. And then we have the hexagon. The hexagon has the word hexa right here. Hexagon means 6. And actually you can guys remember that because hexagon has an X like the number 6. So it has 6 sides and 6 angles. And last but not least, we have octagon. Octagon sounds like octopus, right? octagon, octopus. So it has octa right here, that means 8. So it has 8 sides and 8 angles, like the stop sign.